Thank you. Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge is the 7th largest stadium in the world, and tonight they welcome the fellas from Hammond, USA for the 3rd ever meeting between the Lions of Southeastern Louisiana and LSU. Brian Kelly and the Tigers aiming for a national championship, off to a 3-0 start, trying to keep it rolling tonight.
Welcome to SEC Saturday night.
There's a party going on around town. It's one rowdy cowboy throwdown. Miles around, the best of the best come here to put their tough to the test. Give it all for gold or go home broke. When they open up that gate, welcome to the show, welcome to the home of the world's biggest rodeo, where the stars light up the night underneath that Texas sky. Welcome to the show, are you ready for a ride? Yeah, you better buckle up and hold on tight, where the Bayou City streets meet the country roads. Welcome to the show.
And welcome to SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. The Fighting Tigers of LSU are 3-0 to start a season for the first time since they won it all in 2019. And tonight, they welcome the Lions from Southeastern for just the 3rd time ever. Lions and Tigers have met in this stadium in 1949 and 2018, and now they run it back one more time as the Lions look for their first ever win against an FBS foe. Let's get you down the field. Head coach Brian Kelly standing by with Cole Kubelik.
Coach, your quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, been a little bit dinged up this year. Does the plan for him change at all tonight going into this matchup?
We really want to let the offense run through him. Certainly a balanced attack. We want to run the football, but he's got to throw it too. He's feeling good. We want this to be kind of a start of where we think our offense can go.
There have been some folks around the program not necessarily satisfied with winning games. How do you keep your team hungry and make sure that doesn't creep into your locker room for this game?
Yeah, these guys work so hard. And so, you know, it's the world we live in today, right? I focus strictly on my players and how they prepare, and they're prepared. They'll play well tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, you.
All right, Cole, thanks. There is no question LSU football exists in a fishbowl, and the biggest fish in that bowl is their defense. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers. The defense has been elite. It has been national championship caliber to this point. How has Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator, gotten them to that point?
Well, what a sight for sore eyes for Tigers fans to win games because of your defense. But I asked Blake Baker directly this week, what's different this year about this defense? He mentioned 2 guys, P.J. Woodland and Mansour Delane, both their top corners, the ability to lock down in man coverage. As you see the numbers there, this is QBR. It's 0 to 100. Last year, pretty average in man coverage. This year, quarterbacks are really struggling because they're that good on the outside. And what does that do? It allows Blake Baker to showcase his DNA, which is being a man, pressure-oriented blitz defense. You see the numbers are way up on blitz, and that is partly the success they're having on defense because of how they've changed their DNA.
Well, on the other side of the coin for this LSU team, they lost 4 of their starting offensive linemen from last season. That was a big turnaround to try and get new guys introduced to the offense, and that, Jordan, has been the elephant in the room. The run game has suffered. The passing game and the explosiveness is just not there. They're the least explosive offense in the SEC. So, Cole, that begs the question, with 4 new starters on the offensive line, what blame do they share with the struggling run game?
I think there's plenty to go around, Tom, the entire offense, and the offensive line has had their struggles. And you get guys that haven't operated together in game situations, it's not going to be clean. Those combination blocks, climbing to the second level, understanding when to leave, when to stay, it's not going to be great. However, I do think formationally and personnel-wise, with play selections that come out of certain formations and how they operate through those, can help the run game get going for LSU if they can continue to get that going in different ways throughout the course of this season.
Well, Jordan, they have this guy, Garrett Nussmeier, and the guys in the studio were talking about it. The expectation builds when you're a returning starter at this position in this league, he has yet to hit the high water marks that he hit last year.
Yeah, year 2 in this system. I think right now when you watch Garrett Nussmeier, he is in complete command at the line of scrimmage. He understands every protection and defense, but partly at times for a quarterback you can have paralysis by analysis, trying to be too perfect on every single play. I want to see LSU use some tempo, get the ball out of his hands quickly to the speed and talent they have on the outside. I still believe Garrett Nussmeier is one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country. I think Brian Kelly, Joe Sloan in this offense, like Brian Kelly mentioned, is going to start catching fire here tonight.
They have a chance to show it. Southeastern won the toss, elected to defer, so LSU will have the ball to start the game. And one of Cole's favorite players has it on a tee, and Alec Mahler, the outdoorsman, will put it in the air and get us started tonight. Barry Brown, electric return man, won't have a chance, or will he? And they want to bring it out from 5 yards deep. Brown makes the first man miss, trying to find the edge, and gets escorted out of bounds just past the 20, up near the 25-yard line. And it brings Garrett Nussmeier to center stage, first LSU returning quarterback with 4,000 passing yards in the previous season.
Yeah, I think we've seen Garrett Nussmeier dealing with a little bit of an injury. He had aggravated an ab in his torso early in fall camp, kind of flared up against Clemson. Against La Tech, you saw the inaccuracies downfield. He's as healthy as he's been. I expect this offense to really focus on pushing the ball downfield vertically, taking advantage of the speed they have.
Caden Durham starts at running back. They want to throw on first down, and it's a backwards pass to Durham, who loses his footing and gets taken down for a loss on the first play. Cameron Ford in on the stop for the Lions. Nussmeier leads the SEC in passing attempts, despite the fact that this LSU offense is averaging fewer than 20 points for the first 3 games for the first time since 1993. That was a loss of 7. And now to the run game. And they try to go straight up the middle with Durham, and he is bottled up. Rowan Briggs, a senior at a Denton Guyer High School, in on the stop for Southeastern.
Yeah, and that's where they've struggled, is running between the tackles. Just 1.8 yards per rush on inside zone this year. You see the bad numbers for their offense in general. I do think they took the pedal off the metal a little bit last week because of how well the defense was playing against DJ Lagway. But this is not where they wanted to start the game in 3rd and long.
10th in the league in 3rd down conversion. Pocket holds. Nussmeier's got time, and he slings it out to his tight end Bauer Sharp, the former Lion. Tries to hurdle his way down the sideline, and LSU will run out the punt team.
Well, you can already tell the plan for Southeastern Louisiana: play zone coverage, play deep, keep everything in front of you. They know the speed advantages with LSU, and a picture-perfect first series for the Lions defense.
Grant Chadwick on to punt it away. And a low punt. Takes an LSU hop. And rolls inside the 20. It'll look good on the scorecard, a 54-yarder. Jordan, Southeastern will play a couple of different quarterbacks tonight. We'll see Carson Camp to start.
Yeah, Carson Camp, the transfer from Sac State. He's a journeyman, his 3rd school. More of a pocket passer. He's got a great release, a really good understanding of passing concepts. The other guy, Kyle Lowe, who we'll see as well. A little bit more of a runner. They will run Carson Camp, but I expect the ball to come out of Camp's hands very quickly. In talking to offensive coordinator Anthony Selfo, he realizes this defensive front pretty nasty for LSU. He wants to get the ball out of his quarterback's hands into space as frequently as possible.
Scored a touchdown in the first 4 possessions against Mississippi Valley State last week. DeAndre Jackson gets a start at tailback, and they go to the slant little screen action. Jalen DiMaggio, the junior from Lafayette.
DiMaggio, big body, 6'2", 210 pounds, had 3 touchdowns last week. He was a machine, and a guy I expect, because of the height advantage there, that they'll take a couple shots downfield with him.
And they will run clock, try to hang around in this game. Their head coach Frank Selfo was the offensive coordinator when La Tech came in here in 08 and took the lead at halftime. He said, we're using that same game plan. May not have the pop pass in, but we're going to try to run some clock and stick around. And a deflection, but a whistle pre-snap. Bernard Gooden had the penetration.
Encroachment. Offense. Number 80. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Kyle Olson is our referee. Deshaun Hughley, a Baton Rouge native, is the one who got flagged. That'll back him up.
Well, you already see the plan, right? A couple quick passes to the perimeter. Try to neutralize this defensive front as much as possible. You mentioned Bernard Gooden in the backfield there. The transfer from USF has made a huge impact for this defensive front, along with a number of transfers across the front for LSU.
Jackson and Zane Hooper in the backfield. High snap handle, then they go off tackle to the right side with Jackson. Gets them back to where they started. Now looking at third and about 3.
It's one thing those gap scheme runs can do for you, fellas. You take advantage of the aggressiveness that LSU brings. Linebacker wants to run through north-south, pull that guard, pull that tackle around. All you have to do is wall them off and allow the running back to cut back underneath. An excellent job of execution there on that scheme.
And they've got speed. DeAndre Jackson was a standout at Edna Carr in New Orleans. His nickname there was the Jet. 3-time All-State on the track. We're looking at a 3rd and 2. And a QB draw. Not working as Whit Weeks comes in to make the stop. 15th consecutive start for Weeks.
Boy, tight end Aiden Wilkinson, I don't think is looking. Watch, the tight end's going to release right here. And Carson Camp wants to throw the ball right away. He's not looking yet, so he's going to scramble. You can already tell that clock is moving pretty fast. He doesn't want to hold on to the ball back there. And Whit Weeks, LSU, happy to see him back in the lineup after an early exit. We'll put it that way last week.
Yeah, after the target, he'll stick around tonight already longer than he did last week against Florida. And a shank. And that'll set up LSU with great field position after going 3 and out on its first offensive possession. Garrett Nussmeier back to work in a ball.
here in Baton Rouge. The run game for LSU has been a target of criticism, and the word from the coaching staff is they want Caden Durham to stay on his track. When a run is designed to go outside, stay outside. You see here, could have been one-on-one with the corner. That's a matchup they love. Again, outside zone. You got 2, 3 blocks out in front, man-on-man, one with the corner. That's the matchup they want. Too many times Caden Durham is cutting that run back too early, causing negative plays. They want to get to the outside, use your speed, trust the track is what you call it. Trust the track of the run, and some of those will spit, and the run game could get fixed real quick here, Tom.
It has not been an explosive offense at all. Nussmeier to throw. It is incomplete, right through the hands of Barryon Brown. That was an issue for Brown at Kentucky. Had a case of the drops his entire time at Lexington.
Yeah, just one reception so far. Excuse me, one rush. 15 receptions on the year for Barryon. They want to get him more involved, though. Joe Sloan mentioned, I want to get him the ball in space. Also want to take some shots downfield to Barryon, see if we can hit it.
They have been using him in the jet sweep game. Those go as receptions. Nussmeier deep out. That's lobbed in and incomplete. Aaron Anderson couldn't squeeze it. Back-to-back drops for the receiving corps.
Throwing the field is an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Well, this one fluttered a little bit, but right in the breadbasket for Aaron Anderson. Just took his eyes off it as he was turning, trying to make somebody miss. And we've all heard the noise about the lack of deep balls, you know, coming into this game. Garrett Nussmeier, 3 of 11 on throws of 20+. Well, that one wasn't his fault.
No.
Got to come down with it when it's right in the breadbasket.
Nor was the first one. 3rd and 10. And if that one in against his own, Aaron Anderson picks up the first down as LSU moves the chain for the first time. Going back to the offense and the sluggishness, Brian Kelly said, I think it's paralysis by analysis. All right, let's just find our playmakers, get them the ball, get it out quickly, make it happen, let them go to work. And tonight will be a great opportunity for that as Durham gets smothered inside the tackle.
And what helps with that is sometimes going tempo, right? So you kind of take the ability of Garrett Nussmeier to slow things down and get the protection right now. No, just call it and run it, right? Use tempo, trust the talent and speed we have. As you see here, 2 plays in a row. They're getting to the line of scrimmage quicker and trying to just run it.
I think it's an important point. They fake the toss, and now he'll sling it out to Durham. Durham gets upended. I don't know what the film showed in terms of a grade for Garrett Nussmeier, but the sense we got from both Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan, but especially Kelly, was Garrett's got to do a better job making decisions in terms of when you give, when you don't give, and who do you go to.
Yeah, and exactly what you mentioned, paralysis by analysis. He's trying to be too perfect. And when you're trying to be too perfect, you're a little late. You're a tick late on a decision to hand it off. You're a tick late on getting to the check down or getting to your 2nd or 3rd read. So Sloan just calling plays to let him call it, run it. 1-2, let it rip.
They're down 2. Straight up the middle, and the entire pile will move it for a first down.
We've talked about the offensive line. Obviously, you lose 4 guys to the NFL. It's tough to just replace guys like that. We're 3 weeks, 4 weeks now into the season. I think this group is starting to come together a little bit more. Obviously, blame is with the running backs, with the play calling, with the offensive line. It's all around, but feels like this is a good game to try to get things going and get that unit cohesive with some momentum and positivity.
Well, Johnson now in a running back, running behind Braylon Moore at center. And he gets bottled up. KK Reno, senior from New Iberia, in on the stop. He's one of Frank Selfo's favorites. A lot of Louisiana kids on this Southeastern side. They're playing in here as players likely for the first time. And there's some excitement to that. No walkthrough at the stadium yesterday. In fact, they didn't bus over from Hammond, USA until this afternoon. To the flat, and a quick hit on Barryon Brown to set up 3rd and a long one. Zach Johnson the stop.
You see that ball coming off a little high for Garrett Nussmeier. Something I talked to Joe Sloan about on the field earlier. I'll get back to that in just a second.
And the Tigers have converted 3 straight 3rd down.
With that ab injury that has been noteworthy for Garrett Nussmeier, you're hesitant to rotate and use a lot of torque through rotation, which is how you get velocity on throws. So he's been a strider and a leaner a little bit. He's been getting his weight on his front side to try to overcompensate for that ab injury, and you're starting to see balls miss a little bit higher more consistently because of that injury. So you can tell, still not quite 100%.
This is the 10th play of the drive, second possession for LSU. They had a short field thanks to the shank punt. Here's Brown. Cole, what'd you learn from Brian Kelly pregame?
We talked about the offensive line, a couple of things you guys were just mentioning, but it's interesting because the last 2 plays, they're down in 3-point stances. One thing BK told me before the game, he said, I went back in practice 2 weeks ago and said, we need to start getting our guys into 3-point stance. Learn how to fire off the football, play old school football, keep your pads low and drive people.
Well, there's a wingest active coach in college football right now. Change of direction in the backfield, and Johnson gets stood up just at the line of scrimmage. Brian Kelly's a no-nonsense coach. If there's something that he wants to fix, he will address it, and he will address it directly. More than a glancing tug on the face mask, got him all the way turned around, no flag. 3 straight third down conversions for LSU.
It's an area down here in the low red zone where Nick Anderson and his height at 6'4" is quite the weapon at the bottom of the screen right here.
Junior out of Katy, Texas. To the run game, and straight up the middle is Durham. He picks up the first down and takes it down to the 1.
Pistol formation, you get downhill, Jordan, in a hurry.
Yeah, really good job by Caden Durham of pressing that and then finding the cutback there that time.
And now Nussmeier takes it himself and gets it over for the score. Touchdown plunge for Garrett Nussmeier. His first rushing touchdown of the season, and that caps a 13-play, 45-yard drive.
Down in the low red zone, getting it done with the offensive line, getting it done with the push, and then, you know, as quarterbacks, even though the offensive line and the running back got you down there, we're going to get the touchdown in our column with a little quarterback sneak. Never fails.
Never, ever. Got the helmet ripped off, mouthpiece hanging halfway out. Damian Ramos on for the point after. That was a lengthy drive. 5:18 off the clock to cover 13 plays. The only thing longer is a drive from the terminal to the New Orleans rental car facility. 7-0 LSU. Who needs the tush push? Just let your guys sneak it over the line.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. If you didn't know T-Mobile has home internet, you do now.
Under the lights at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. And LSU, a 7-0 lead on a QB sneak from Garrett Nussmeier. Second possession of the game after they went 3 and out. They took advantage of a shanked punt. The 18-yarder gave him a short field. Garrett Nussmeier going over the numbers. By the way, if you like big legs, watch Aaron Burrell. This guy has a rifle for a leg. It's like watching Barry Bonds take batting practice. That one 5 yards deep, no return, but it is the return of defense here in Death Valley.
Yeah, Blake Baker, year 2. The dividends are being paid. As you see, 2023-24 got a little bit better, but again, like I said, a lot of zone coverage, not something that Blake Baker likes to do. He's a man pressure type oriented guy, and you're seeing the DNA of what we saw at Missouri transfer here in year 2 under Blake Baker. And like I mentioned, the corners, P.J. Woodland and Mansour Delane, a lot to do with that. They've allowed the safeties, Tamarcus Cooley and A.J. Halsey, to play more like rovers, less zone coverage, more eyes on the quarterback, and you saw that pay off last week with 5 interceptions against DJ Lagway.
He was here, then he went to Eli Drinkwood's staff, then he got a raise to come back. And they try to stretch the perimeter. It's a gain of 5 on first down. They're going deep in the roster. It's another run for Carson Camp at quarterback. We'll also see Kyle Lowe a little bit later. 2 very different quarterbacks. They both got big arms, though. That was Brandon Hayes in the last carry. Camp's from Bloomington Normal, Illinois at a Normal West, and maybe a yard on that carry by Jaden Henry. And that'll bring up 3rd down. I think mentioned a couple years at Sac State, but he didn't take a single snap last year.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences you're seeing with this LSU defense as well is Harold Perkins and utilizing him where he is best, where he can continually affect the defense every single snap, and that's on the outside. That's outside linebacker that's coming off the edge, that star position. Remember last year, kind of worked him a little bit more at inside linebacker before the injury. Now back in the position that best fits this defense and best fits him.
An abbreviated season for Perkins last year. 3rd and 3, they find nothing. It's a loss of 2. DeAndre Jackson taken down by Gabriel Relaford, and that will bring Alec Mahler on for another punt. What'd you learn about Mahler?
He was described to me, Tom, as the epitome of Louisiana as it gets. From Vacherie, Louisiana, says he takes his guys out fishing on his land. They go hunting on his land all the time. Coach told me that, Coach Selfo, that they went on a fishing trip, brought 18 bass home, cleaned them in his shower of his apartment there on campus. He also told me a story that I'll get to on the other side of this kick about him and some of his teammates going frogging.
There's a flag. He drew the flag on a roughing the punter. Xavier Thomas trying to get fancy in the return game, and there's nothing there. It was a 46-yard punt. We'll let them announce a penalty. It was a 4th and 5, and if that's a 5-yard penalty, that'll be a first down. And Cole can talk about frogging here in a second. Back in Missouri, we called that gigging. You go gigging.
I never
Running
did
into
that.
the kicker. Defense, number 10. It's a 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
You call it frogging as Mahler tried to frog his way here in this punt. What'd you pick up about his frogging skills?
Said 4 or 5 teammates took him out to the swamp. It was around midnight. I guess you have to do it at night. I've never been. I don't know exactly how it works.
Yeah, shot a flashlight in their eyes.
Yeah,
you throw the trident.
Well, he said it was a boat that he fixed up. He actually likes buying boats in the summer, fixing them up and flipping them and selling them. This one they actually flipped over. So 4 or 5 guys go into the swamp. Said they had no lights out there trying to frog other than the flashlights. And they just had to tow the boat, pull the boat back into the shore. And I said, imagine you had a couple freaked out teammates. He said, yeah, we avoided panic attacks, but it wasn't a comfortable situation. We did get it back to shore, got the boat back, fixed it, and got going again. He's also taken a couple alligators to Coach Selfo a few times. Now, he did release those back into the wild.
Yeah.
Don't want to get in any trouble here.
No.
But, yes, he has presented a few to Coach Selfo that he's caught on his own.
Fisheries and Wildlife watching keenly tonight. Yeah, there's one thing, 4 or 5 guys go into the swamp. You just want to make sure 4 or 5 guys get out of the swamp.
I might have shut it down at that point and said, it's been a nice run, guys. This is probably it.
Taking it back to the house.
I grew up in California. None of that computes for me.
Have you ever had frog legs?
No.
Change that. Can't. Wanted to go deep. Everybody was covered, and now he has to scramble with it. And Jordan, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. It's Blake Baker's individual talent on the back end of the defense, which has allowed LSU to do some different things.
Yeah, that one right there, trying to take a shot play. Mansour Delane was actually running the route for the receiver all over it. That's why Camp had to tuck it and run. Blake Baker very happy with the pieces of this defense and how they're all working together. I mentioned Harold Perkins back in the spot that he's most comfortable. A lot more man coverage. Their blitz rate is way up this year. That's who Blake Baker wants to be. He said, if you cut me right open, I'm a man press blitz kind of guy.
And Perkins coming on pressure from the edge. They fake the end around, and it's incomplete. On the dump off to Luke Besh, senior from down the road in Slidell out of Jesuit. And for Coach Selfo, missed opportunity there. They had a good play drawn up. This leaves them 3rd and 2. You see that look a couple times in your quarterback meetings with the Jaguars?
Coach Selfo was my quarterback coach with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2013. We had some fun in that quarterback room. Didn't talk football as much as maybe everything else, but that's what made it fun.
It was fun talking to him about you this week. A run off tackle. Weeks is in there to take down DeAndre Jackson. It's right at the line to gain, maybe a hair short. And you got to keep the offense out here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course you do.
You now only get so many opportunities, and 4th and a few inches, you know Coach Selfo's going to roll the dice.
They're 0 for 4 on 4th down this season.
This is where you do have to worry about quarterback run. Carson Camp is maybe the less athletic, but they still like to design quarterback runs for him. And let's see where Blake Baker has Harold Perkins. At the top of the screen right there.
Needed to get to the 45. Don't think that happened. And LSU says no. Bernard Gooden says we stopped him. Boy.
Ruling on the field is the runner was short of the line to gain. First down, LSU.
LSU used the QB sneak for a touchdown on its last possession. Lions couldn't do the same. Well, it's a day trip for the fellows from Hammond. This is 3:30 Central Time, about 45 miles away. Hop in the buses. We're not spending money on a hotel. No, budget's tight. Let's drive over. Get our police escort, Coach Selfo and everybody walking into Tiger Stadium just an hour or so later. Walk around a little bit, get a sweat going.
Shake the legs out.
Yeah, shake them out. Frank Selfo, just what a great visit with him. And he said, listen, we know the realities. This is an FCS team versus LSU. They've never beaten an FBS opponent. 0-33 all time. He was here with La Tech, as I mentioned, and they put a scare into LSU in 08. Ran a little pop pass with Coach Dooley. Take the lead into the locker room. Nussmeier on play action. Delivers a sliding strike just shy of the first down marker to Nick Anderson.
Oh, it's a really good job by Nuss on the run here. Nick Anderson, a guy I was so excited about when he transferred in from Oklahoma. Didn't play last year because of an injury. The year before had almost 800 yards and 10 touchdowns as a freshman. And the size is what they needed. They got a lot of speed, not a lot of size. So looking forward to see if they can use that size a little more frequently.
Nussmeier taken down. Offensive line allows Caleb Proctor to come busting through. Cole, what'd you see?
Well, this young man's got an excellent motor on him and somebody who had a lot of offers to go play higher level football. You'll see him here just to the right of your screen. Little twist, going to go outside then inside. Right tackle Weston Davis has to slam down on that defender, Caleb Proctor, and squeeze that to force the penetration not to take place. The tackle has time to, or the guard has time to bounce back off after that. But you have to stop that penetrator first. That leakage got him a sack.
Preseason All-America. And preseason All-Conference in the Southland. And that will bring us to the end of the quarter. Frank Selfo's team hanging around.
That is the end
The Lions
of the first quarter.
have allowed one long touchdown drive. It came on a short field for Brian Kelly's squad. But that big sack will have LSU looking at a second and long. And we'll catch up with the Lions head coach, Frank Selfo, when we return to Baton Rouge right after this. Lions hanging with the Tigers moments ago. Cole Kublik caught up with Southeastern's head coach Frank Selfo.
Coach Selfo, you like your team. I know you probably expect them to come out and play hard, but have to feel pretty good with the effort and some of the execution you're getting already this evening.
Well, our effort's good. We had a couple of mistakes on offense in the first quarter, and, you know, that's what we can't do against teams like this. But, yeah, we're going to play hard. We've got a reputation for that. We'll continue to do that.
And indeed, they're off to a good start this season and a great start in this game, hanging with the third-ranked team in the country. 2nd and 19 after the sack. And through the hands of a receiver for the 3rd time tonight, Nick Anderson that time. And that leaves 3rd and long.
Yeah, just a little high, a little wide, but Nick Anderson's got to catch that ball. You can see a little frustration already from Garrett Nussmeier in this offense. They want to take shots downfield, but right now, SLU is playing deep zone coverage, 2 safeties, keeping everything in front of them. Look at that. Everybody back, forcing LSU to take the underneath.
Or man rush. Nussmeier goes back across his body and completes it to Durham, who takes it to the 35. Pick up of 8. That drive undone thanks to a 2nd down sack.
Boy, this is almost the exact same thing we just saw. You're going to get this, and once again, that penetrator, Caleb Proctor, is going to sneak through the guard and the tackle. I mean, Weston Davis has got to move his feet and come down. You can't let the first guy on a stunt be the penetrator.
They're going to go for it on 4th and long, Jay. 4th and 11. Haven't converted a 4th down yet. 0 for 1 on the season. Nussmeier over the middle. That's complete. They pick up the 1st down as Xavier Thomas. As a high pressure throw.
That was a great job. Just a little switch route at the bottom. Xavier Thomas attacking cover 2. You want to attack cover 2 in the middle of the field. And a great throw on a 4th and long from Garrett Nussmeier.
And now back to the ground. This is Johnson, who picks up a 1st down and spins all the way down to the 2-yard line.
Well, I love the tempo on that, right? Big 4th down pickup. Got a big chunk play in the pass game. Get to the line of scrimmage. Don't let SLU get set. And that's when the run starts to gash.
Johnson with Nussmeier in the backfield. Johnson straight ahead, stood up, plunges in anyway. 2-yard touchdown run for Juwan Johnson, his 1st of the year.
A really good job by the offensive line there. Center Braylon Moore had a great one-on-one block. Getting Juwan Johnson right over the goal line. LSU fans should be happy with how well they're running the football down in the low red zone. They've struggled a little bit in the red zone, converting touchdowns, and so far, perfect tonight.
They bounce back from the 2nd down sack. Convert a 4th and 11, keeping the offense on the field. And LSU's got a 2-touchdown lead now here early in the 2nd quarter. And a sigh of relief for this LSU offense. Well, you know, LSU with a 14-0 lead after a 3-and-out on its first possession.
Around the kickoff, the Tigers. Jason Goodman beat the line.
Just a Goodley back to return for Southeastern. To the back of the end zone and nearly to the stands. Let's get to the studio. Here's Dory. Very interesting matchup, and here's a change at quarterback as we expected for Southeastern. Kyle Lowe played for his dad in high school, went to Middle Tennessee, then Georgia State. He's dynamic.
More of a dynamic runner, design runs. You got to be aware of him. When the play breaks down, he can scramble and make you miss.
Whoa, they came right at him. And incomplete, trying to find his tight end, Cade Collier.
Boy, Devon Keys came unblocked through the B gap. Well, there's a welcome to SEC football first play for Kyle Lowe.
Here's a flag down 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
I don't know if he's moving faster, that pressure or Riley Witten's helmet to the sideline.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 96, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's Dominic McKinley. Had a big sack.
Number 78 of the offense may remain in the game due to the foul.
A little double team. Just McKinley ended up grabbing a helmet and tossing it over to the side. In all fairness, the double team was a little bit after the whistle. I mean,
kind of looked like the end of a Rock'em Sock'em robot.
Yeah.
Just popped his head right off. They show pressure again. They hit it well, and now Lowe has nowhere to go. You talk with Blake Baker about the ability of this defense to hide what it's going to do, to disguise both coverages and blitzes. How do they do it?
Yeah, year two in a system, right? Blake mentioned, hey, year one, our guys are just trying to line up and remember what their responsibilities are. Year two, now you can start to figure out, okay, I can hide this a little bit. I can be showing cover two and then roll to cover one late because you're so ingrained with your responsibilities. You know it like the back of your hand. That's when you really start to play mind games on the defensive side, and that's a nightmare for a quarterback. When the picture changes that close to the snap.
They brought pressure again and complete to Jalen DiMaggio. Obviously part of the game plan is to line up Kyle Lowe. It's the third time in 4 snaps they've come at him.
Well, he's just listed at 5'10" as well. He's a little shorter in stature, so the more bodies you put in front of him, the more that muddies up the picture. But a great job there. And an even better catch by DiMaggio, a little bit on the back hip.
He's the grandson of Woodrow Lowe, 3-time All-American linebacker at Alabama.
Watch Harold Perkins here. He's going to come off the edge.
Just follow that yellow line, huh?
Oh, he faked it.
Dropped into coverage, and it's batted away. Jamari Butler got in the face of Kyle Lowe. And that leaves 4th and 5.
We just mentioned hiding plays. The reason I said, oh, Harold Perkins is coming is because watch the safety here, Cooley. It looks like he's playing man coverage, and at the last second he's going to drop back into cover 2. That's just a great job of hiding it. I'm a quarterback going, hey, that's man, right?
What are you looking at? What are you reading in that?
I'm looking at the body language of that safety over my slot defender, or excuse me, receiver. He looked like he was squaring up, eyes on the receiver, so I'm thinking, oh, Perkins coming then. He doesn't have pass responsibilities, and then he drops off last second. Really good job at the nuances of body language there to disguise that coverage.
Damian Thomas pushed inside the 10. From the 9. Full head of steam, and he barrels his way past the 25-yard line. LSU's got the offense going. Tigers have scored on consecutive possessions here in Red Stick. Time now for Coverage Where It Counts, presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Just when we thought Southeastern was in this game after a big second down sack, Garrett Nussmeier goes to the air. They get 8 yards on third down. They stay on the field and convert a 4th and 11.
Yeah, 4th and 11 right here. A strike over the middle to Xavier Thomas, and then it was the long run by Juwan Johnson. Longest of the game, 16 yards. And what's most impressive is low red zone. They've been getting great push. Haven't had to throw the football down there. It's been all runs. Explosive plays still haven't quite emerged from the run game entirely, but they've been effective in the red zone.
And I thought it was really interesting talking to Joe Sloan about that this week. You take away their longest run each game, that average goes cratering. And he said, okay, we're a little bit more explosive than we were last year. Last year, primarily inside run. We'd get 3 yards. We're not going to be an offense that gets 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards. Our run game will go 2, 3, 5, 6, 30.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been so far this season. It's very inconsistent, but there is a spark there.
Yeah, and when you watch the tape, there's plays that they left on the table, too. That breakdown earlier, Caden Durham, definitely opportunities to be more explosive. Just about being consistent, hitting the holes where they're designed.
Empty backfield. Nussmeier over the middle, complete to Aaron Anderson. Past midfield, and another LSU first down through the air. That one covers 25 yards.
Oh, great throw there by Nussmeier. Look, he's got all the arm strength in the world, but I'm so impressed by his ability to take some velocity off the throw when he needs to. Leading guys, throwing up and over linebackers there. Great touch throw over the middle that time to Aaron Anderson.
Is that tough to learn as a quarterback?
Well, honestly, you kind of got it. It's tough, yeah. You either have it or you don't. The ability to manipulate the ball like that. Nuss has always had that.
Xavier Thomas enters the backfield, and he'll get a carry. He got blasted at the end of it as he took it down to the 43. Second and 4. Four-man rush again. Nussmeier dumps it off. And Caleb Jackson, junior from right here in Baton Rouge, dances his way to an LSU first down.
I love the decision there by Garrett Nussmeier. And that's indicative of a quarterback, second year in the system. He's about to step up and take off and run. He remembers, oh, wait, my check down's right here to my left. He's much faster than I am. Just dump it down to him. That is maturation at the quarterback position on full display there. And actually, Frank Selfo, my former quarterback coach, used to say all the time, you get to the check down, that's what we call in the NFL the Pro Bowl route. You keep consistently getting to the check down, you're going to be in a Pro Bowl. Completion percentage goes up, yards go up, efficiency goes up, and here they go over the top to Nick Anderson.
And Anderson can't quite haul it in off of his hands. Good coverage by Zach Johnson.
Great coverage by Zach Johnson. He's their best cover guy on the backside. And this is a good throw by Garrett Nussmeier, throwing it up to 6'4" Nick Anderson. It's just a post route over the top. But look how Zach Johnson on the backside. There's a little hand fighting there, but does a great job of getting his hands right between Nick Anderson's at the point that ball arrives.
Leaves second and 10. Durham tried to get to the outside. It gets thrown for a loss.
Boy, this is that outside zone run by Caden Durham. We did the breakdown earlier. Watch if he just keeps this track. If he just stays outside, a hole's going to open up instead of cutting back. Right there. Look at that hole. Right over there. Did you see it?
Yep.
I mean, it was. He's got to stay on that track. He's got to be looking at the block of the tackle.
It was a nice kick out by the tackle there, Jordan.
Yeah, really good job. It opened up a hole. He's just got to trust that. He's got the speed. He's got to be a little more patient with those outside zone runs.
Nussmeier perfect on third down tonight. 3 for 3, and he'll pump fake and try to run for this one. Got a big block from Barry Brown, and he dances all the way down inside the 10. 26-yard scramble for Garrett Nussmeier.
Boy, not his strong suit, but he is a better runner and more athletic than you think. And again, I love, after big plays, the tempo tonight. Getting back on the line of scrimmage, probably going to hand it off here.
Johnson already has 1 touchdown tonight, and stays on his feet for another score. 14-yard touchdown run for Juwan Johnson. Started his college career in the secondary. Now he's got a home in the backfield.
Well, it's a great job by Bauer Sharp coming across right here, and that's the block. Gets his hands a little bit on the outside of Johnson at linebacker there, but it was the tempo, right? The defensive line was getting set right before the snap. Those big boys were tied up there. I love the emphasis by Joe Sloan. After a big play, line up and run it.
And the tempo specifically after the Nussmeier 26-yard scramble. 21-0 LSU lead. Tigers get the offense rolling here in the second quarter. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. The first quarter was all line up. The fellas from Hammond, USA hanging in. Only trailed 7-0 since then. Consecutive scoring drives for LSU. And now a 21-0 lead. No return. Let's take a look at how they've used Harold Perkins over the years.
Yeah, it's been the curious case of where to put him. He's kind of a tweener from a size perspective. Earlier in his career, it was see ball, get ball, on the edge of the defense a majority of the time in 22, 23, 64% of the time, hardly at inside linebacker at all. And then 24 was that experiment, right? Maybe at the next level of the NFL, he's better as an inside backer. That didn't work. Now he's back on the outside, on the edge this year. And I thought it was cool talking to Blake Baker. He sat him down this offseason and said, where do you want to play? Not where do scouts think you'll play in the NFL someday. Where do you want to play? He said, wherever. And then Baker said, no, not good enough. He said, I want to play star.
And that conversation wasn't just where do you think scouts want you to play? It's let's shut off those other voices in your head, wherever they're coming from, because when I get Harold, that guy makes plays. Perk gambles and doesn't make plays. And I thought that was great insight as to how Blake Baker has developed this relationship to find trust, and we're going to use you where it's best.
Yeah, the hype was so big because he's so talented. Everyone expected him to get 3 or 4 sacks a game, and when he was playing off the ball, he started to take chances and shoot gaps that weren't structurally sound. So now back in a position where he can affect the quarterback every single play. You have to take him into account in the protection. He's better in space. See him coming off the edge here.
And the ball is loose. Lions fall on it. Bernard Gooden punched it out. Somebody was going to get to him, and Perkins was number 2 right behind Patrick Payton.
Boy, Gooden has been living in the backfield. But back to Harold Perkins, I think you hit the nail on the head. This defense requires a sense of selflessness because it is so pressure and blitz oriented. Sometimes the play isn't dialed up for you to affect the defense, but it requires you to be selfless and to hold a gap or take on 2 defenders so someone else can be open. Harold's done a great job of playing selfless football, and it's paying off for him as a playmaker as well.
Lowe tries to step up and gets swallowed up. Jacoby Guillory was all over him. Jack Pyburn, the Florida transfer, was right there with him.
Well, Pyburn on a huge stunt. Look at him come from the left side all the way across the ball, and his eyes are impressive. The entire time he's going to have his eyes on the quarterback, reading this play. Where's it coming? Oh, he's coming right to me. Forces the quarterback back inside, and Guillory is able to clean it up.
That's one of those plays where Bernard Gooden will be celebrated just as much as the 2 individuals that made that play because of what he ate up in the middle of that offensive line.
Yeah, took on 2 offensive linemen, frees up Pyburn, allows Guillory to leak off as well.
Alec Mahler gets a beautiful one away. Back to the 32 is Xavier Thomas. Runs through the first. Stutter steps the second, and then trio of green jerseys there, including the long snapper and starting tight end Kate Collier. Cole, you ever seen a 6'6" long snapper?
That's the first time I've seen that in the history of football. I don't know what the tallest long snapper in football history is, or if he's the tallest long snapper this year in college football, but I'd probably put money on it that he is.
Oh, probably easier to look through his legs as he's snapping, right? I mean, got a bigger window to look through. Short, stubby legs isn't good for a long snapper either.
But it also feels like most of them are that build.
It's true. It is true.
A couple of 7-play drives have led to scores for LSU on each of its last 2 possessions. Nussmeier going deep, had man coverage, fistful of jersey. There's the flag. Chris Hilton had a couple of steps, and Cameron Norwood was trying to rein him in.
Yeah, Chris Hilton, one of those guys they want to get going.
Defense, number 8, 15-yard penalty, results in a first down.
They really want to get opportunities for Hilton downfield because of his speed. And you see, he was gone. I mean, that's a really good business decision by Cameron Norwood of just holding. You'd rather have a 15 yards than 45 and a touchdown. But Hilton's actually has the 2nd fastest top speed in miles per hour in the entire FBS at 21.9 miles per hour, tied with Xavier Thomas. So LSU, a couple guys that are among the fastest in the entire country, and they want to get those guys more opportunities downfield.
As Kyle Parker motioned across. Nussmeier looking for his tight end. And Bauer Sharp, the former Lion, picks up the first down. Did you see Bauer Sharp drying his hands on his towel pre-snap? He reached back with his right hand to dry his hands right before the snap, and I'm thinking, gosh, I wonder if they're going to throw it.
Weird. If you probably went back and watched my tape, you see right there on the end of the line, oh, he's at, oh, left hand, a little sweaty. Ball's probably coming to me.
To the perimeter, flag down in the defensive backfield. Barryon Brown gets ridden down after the catch.
Guarantee if you went back and watched my tape, it's probably a 90% success rate of if I wiped my hands pre-snap, it was probably a pass. If I didn't, it was just a
substitution. Defense, more than 11 players on the field at the time of the snap. That penalties decline. Resulting play is a first down.
Well, Frank Selfo played baseball at Monroe back in the early 80s, and his team, too many errors tonight.
Well, Nuss did a great job of seeing that extra guy on the field and snapping that right away. He saw he wasn't going to get off.
Here's the end around. It's Barry on Brown. Elite speed. And popped out of bounds at the 13. They'll mark it at about the 14. Barry Brown's interesting. You talk to other coaches in the SEC. They break him down in the portal and said we were concerned with him making contested catches, too many drops, but make no mistake about it. Elite speed, elite return man. And I feel like LSU's still learning how to use him in this offense.
Yeah, a puzzle piece that needs to fit just right. You mentioned it. Maybe not the most elite pure receiver with his hands, but if you can find ways to get the ball in his hands, reverses, quick throws and screens, he is so dynamic. The ball in his hands and great design.
Pulled back by Nussmeier and it's knocked away in the end zone. Thomas defended by Blaine De La Houssaye.
A little RPO. Garrett Nussmeier's reading the backside safety here. He steps up. Ball is right on the money, and De La Houssaye maybe a little early. Hand on the backside has him wrapped up. They're letting him play though. We saw a lot of hand fighting on the throw deep downfield to Nick Anderson. They're letting these guys on the outside be physical. That one, me being a quarterback, it should have been a flag.
Yeah, maybe. 3rd and a long one. LSU 5 of 7 on 3rd down this evening. Sharp in motion. He's the lead blocker. And great penetration and a stop behind the line by Caleb Proctor. And Caleb Proctor coming back to Hammond was a bell cow for a bunch of other guys to stick with the program and stick around.
Yeah, Coach Selfo told us he got offers up near $500,000 as we'll see the inside stunt here. Big 95 is going to eat some space. Proctor going to flip right around. Have to have the understanding as an offensive lineman that that's possible and going to take place, but got some big offers to go play other places, and he said, listen, this is where I started my career. I wanted to finish with my guys, wanted to finish here, talked to his pastor about it, made the decision to stay there at Southeast Louisiana.
4th down opportunity for LSU. They convert on a run off the right side by Jawan Johnson. Yeah, Caleb Proctor told Coach Selfo, family ain't ever had money, don't need the money. Let's just stick here with the guys I'm tight with and play ball.
Said sometimes the Lord gives you things you don't need. And that was one that was laying right there in front of him and just wanted to finish his business that he started there at Southeastern. That was a pretty cool story because Coach Selfo made no bones about how many offers he had and how much they were for.
1st and goal for LSU. Johnson having a career night already. A couple of touchdown runs. They fake it to him. Nussmeier pressured and thrown down by Caleb Proctor. Making a name for himself tonight. If you didn't already know, now number 2 is proven that he needs to be reckoned with.
Boy, just splits Braylon Moore and Paul Mubinga right through the A gap. He's just got a great get off right now, and Braylon Moore was checking backside first before sliding to the front side and just not quick enough.
A standout at Oak Grove High School here in Louisiana. State championship at the 1A level. 2nd and goal from deep. Nussmeier, end zone shot. Contested catch. Barry on Brown. And an LSU touchdown from 17 yards out.
Just great anticipation from Garrett Nussmeier, putting this one on the back line. And a great contested catch there, Tom, from Barry on Brown. And he did hold it all the way through contact with the ground.
Well, if he can continue to make plays like that, his stock, based on his physical skills, will go through the roof. Ramos punches it through, 28-0.
Well, it's a great concept to beat cover 4 down in the red zone. It's going to be a double post concept. You're going to get post, and the read for Garrett Nussmeier is this field cover 4 safety. If he sticks with that inside post, bam, you got to rip the outside. Ball right on the money, perfect read. And again, that tweener ball, right? It wasn't a laser, but it wasn't lobbed. He's able to anticipate so well, throws that little touch And I love Barryon Brown making a big play downfield. As we mentioned, that was kind of the knock on him in the portal. Everyone knew he's so dynamic with the ball in his hands. Can he make those tough catches right there, proving that he can.
3 years at Kentucky, he left Lexington, number 10 in school history in receiving yards and 5th in kickoff return touchdowns. Brandon Hayes out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, back to receive the kick. Aaron Burrell bangs another. No return. 2:06 to play here. Let's get you to the studio. Here's Dari. All right, Dari, thanks. What are your take on where Arch is now and where he needs to go?
Yeah, I think it's just continued development, especially with his fundamentals. You know, the narrative by the media, I think, was a little ahead of his development. And you see some inconsistencies with his footwork. But what you do see is a kid that is incredibly talented. And if we just give him a little time to develop, he's going to be pretty good, dang good down the road. In a game like this week,
this is
a little bit of a slump
timeout.
buster.
Quarterbacks roll with slump busters too?
Oh, yeah.
28-0 LSU. Highest scoring game so far this season, and not yet done with the first half. All right, gentlemen, thanks. And the ball tipped and falls back to the grass. Let's take you back to an injury moments ago, Cole. Gabriel Relaford.
You'll see him just kind of stuffing the run here for that LSU defense. He's going to hop up, immediately go to that right shoulder. He would go on to the locker room and return from the locker room without his shoulder pads on. That right arm would be in a sling, and I'm told that he's out for the game.
This is an LSU defense who's done a tremendous job building depth among the D-line. Blake Baker said he leaned on Glenn Schumann in that elite Georgia defense from its first national championship as an example. Incomplete. He said he got all these NFL draft picks, a couple of first-rounders, yet nobody was playing a lot of snaps in that game. So he shared that with his own D-line and said, listen, this can not only be a path to success for our program and for our defense, but also for you.
Yeah, and when you have a little more money to spend in the NIL slush fund, that helps out as well, right? Remember, Bryce Underwood was supposed to come here and then departed for Michigan, and that left a lot of money on the table. And it seems like right now that money was well spent up front. The defensive line, not just tonight, but obviously through the first 3 weeks of the season, has looked like a big improvement.
Opportunity for a return. And a blast from behind takes out Xavier Thomas. Where Underwood led Michigan to a win on the road at Nebraska this afternoon. Brian Kelly told us last year, we were here that same week he flipped to Michigan. He said, we got to think about how we're using the money. This is just one group of examples of how they use that money.
Yeah, Bauer Sharp, such a Swiss Army knife, can block, can be a pass catcher. Barryon Brown already with a touchdown tonight. Jack Pyburn is making some plays from defensive end, and A.J. Halsey, the safety, interception already this year. I mean, they spent money, and they're seeing dividends paid early from this defense and the way that Blake Baker has built it.
Got Sharp from Oklahoma after he started his college career at Southeastern. Maybe a pickup of 1 yard on the first down carry by Caden Durham. Cole, that was very much a plan of attack for Brian Kelly after they lost out on Underwood.
Spread the wealth a little bit, and I think specifically with those last two names, you look at Jack Pyburn, I call him Ram Man from He-Man, sort of like he's not afraid to just go trade paint with somebody, try to dent somebody's face mask, and he's not always going to make the play. Part of that buy-in that you have to have on this defense that Jordan referenced a little bit earlier. And I tell you this, for my money, I'd make the argument A.J. Halsey's best overall football player on this team. Just the amount of things that he can do well compared to other people at other positions. He probably doesn't have the best 40, doesn't have the best vert. But it goes back to disguising body language, the things Jordan referenced. He just does those things extremely well. So the value from players like that is going to increase when you can get more of them.
And by the power of Grayskull, Bauer Sharp picks up a first down on the catch.
Well, Garrett Nussmeier had a fortnight to throw that football. That's good to see as well. We've talked about the struggles in the run game, but pass pro has been a little bit of an issue as well. Some confusion up front over the course of the first couple weeks, but looking a lot better tonight.
Slings it out to the perimeter, and Hilton blazing speed, but taken down inside the 20. And a timeout taken by LSU to stop the clock with 41 ticks left.
Timeout.
First
LSU.
timeout used by the Tigers.
Please reset the game clock to 42 seconds.
Well, we got a minute. Let's get it to our
This
friends
timeout
at
will be
Academy Sports and Outdoors.
There's no I in team, but there is an M, an E, an A, and a T.
Brian Kelly coaching to win the game. Up 28-0. Looking at a 2nd and 2. Still fired up in the post-game presser last week.
Yeah, it's interesting kind of seeing a philosophy change for this program as a whole. Last year depended so much, last few years, on having a lot of firepower on offense.
Yeah.
This year, because the defense is playing so well, it kind of changes some of the playmaking, or excuse me, play calling, the aggressiveness. We saw that last week with Florida. They kind of took their foot off the pedal, realized the defense could win the game for them as long as they didn't mess up.
2nd and 2. O-line holds up. That's complete for a first down, and Anderson taken down at the 10. Brian Kelly mentioned on our call this week he had 8 opportunities where analytics said to go for it, but because of injuries on defense, the pace of that game, he denied that 6 times. So that's my job to coach the game as a whole. The offensive coordinator has his own set of responsibilities. Off the right side and inside the 5 for Caden Durham. And that communication, he said, happens in game. I'm on the headset.
LSU.
I'm talking to Joe Sloan, telling him how many yards he
30 seconds in
needs
length.
to go for it on 4th down. And that conservative game plan that came about during the Florida game was all about Brian Kelly's responsibility just to get to the end of the game and win it, which in a conference game, as much parity as we have in the league this year, that is awfully valuable.
Yeah, and almost to protect your quarterback from himself as well. Anytime the offense has been frustrated a little bit, haven't started as fast as they've wanted to, Garrett Nussmeier has been known to be a gunslinger at times. And at times last year, it bit him in the butt. You know, turnovers against A&M, turnover against Alabama. So you kind of realize, hey, we don't have to be as aggressive. We can play the game to not lose it as much as we play to win it when your defense is really good. And that's the maturation of a play caller, of a head coach, of a quarterback in his 2nd year as a starter, 5th year in the program.
2nd and goal. Knocked away. Went to the slant to Nick Anderson. Mentioned Barryon Brown. Nick Anderson, a receiver, trying to regain the form that he flashed early on in his career at Oklahoma before injuries kept him sidelined last year.
Yeah, this was a laser. And actually love right through the hands. I love that Nuss kind of pulled him upfield as well.
Is that the 4th? It's a 4th through the hands of an LSU receiver. Such a hard carom. It's like a Paul Skeens fastball. I thought it had been deflected.
Timeout, Southeastern Louisiana. Their first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Southeastern's going to chat about it. The defense an opportunity to catch its wits for Frank Selfo.
This is a Southeastern Louisiana team that is mature, 24 seniors, and also homegrown. A lot of guys grew up in Louisiana, probably dreaming about playing in this very stadium.
A little bit different than 7,400 seat Strawberry Stadium, whose, by the way, first opponent back in 1937 was LSU. It was the LSU freshman team, but it was still LSU.
How many passing attempts do you think were in that game? Total.
Over, under 1.5.
Yeah.
I'd take the under.
Forward pass wasn't quite a thing back then. Garrett Nussmeier wouldn't have liked that.
No, not his kind of game. Leads the SEC in attempts coming into tonight. That's Brown in motion. And we got a whistle and movement up front.
Yeah, Weston Davis.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Just a little flinch down there from the right tackle.
Cole, we talk about confidence with offensive players. Is confidence an issue with offensive linemen?
Absolutely. Specifically in situations like that, depending on your snap count, if it's on the clap, if it's silent, that changes up and it gets inside your head. I got to get a jump here. This defensive lineman beat me. I got to make sure I get into my set a little bit quicker. Have to get more depth, have to get more width, have to punch faster. Your brain gets a little bit scrambled sometimes thinking about those things and not just playing football.
It's Juwan Johnson in the backfield with Nussmeier. He'll flip hips. In on 3rd down. Looking to punch it in. Another scramble drill on the run. End zone. Score. Xavier Thomas. 10th consecutive game with a touchdown pass for Garrett Nussmeier. That one goes for 9. Brown's got a touchdown pass. Xavier Thomas says, a touchdown catch. Xavier Thomas has one. And now Nussmeier behind only Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels for consecutive games of the touchdown pass for this program in the last 15 years.
Well, it was a really good job by Xavier Thomas of trying to read which side Garrett Nussmeier was going to go to. You're going to see him work up here, and then when Nussmeier goes this way, he's going to start his scramble this way and then reverse field with Nussmeier. It's a great job scramble drill. You want to mirror your quarterback on the back line. Great job putting your hand up, mailboxing him. And a great job by Nussmeier on the run. He's such a good off-platform thrower.
Watching the mechanics there to make you feel that the torso is probably in pretty good shape for
no doubt that will stress it the most, because your body is going towards the left sideline and you have to get your left shoulder and your upper body twisted back around towards your receiver. So it puts a lot of torque, a lot of stress on that torso that obviously has been banged up for Garrett Nussmeier. I think that might be his night.
You think so?
Yeah. If I'm Brian Kelly, I feel pretty good about 19 for 25. 5 straight, I believe, touchdown drives there after the 3 and out to start the game.
That's right. Eight seconds left in the half. It was a stuttering start for this LSU offense, as Jordan mentioned, 3 and out on its opening drive. And this was a 7-0 game early in the second quarter after Nussmeier had taken a sack. They converted a 4th and 11, punched it into the end zone, and the Tigers are off to the races. And now they have Carson Camp take a knee and get Southeastern to the locker room. We'll watch a Golden Band from Tigerland on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. Lions will receive the second half kickoff. Brian Kelly came in with some very clear offensive goals. They're looking to be more explosive, looking to get the ball into the hands of their playmakers, and boy, have they done that. Nussmeier 19 of 25 for $190 and 2 touchdowns, but he's taken a pair of sacks. In the run game, good in the red zone, though not much doing in terms of big plays overall. But regardless, LSU heads to the locker room with a comfortable advantage, up 35-0, as the Lions will still be searching for their first ever win against an FBS opponent. 0-33 all-time, 0-2 versus LSU. Brian Kelly is with Cole Kublik.
Coach Garrett Nussmeier 4 for 4 on 3rd down, 1 for 1 on 4th down. He converted a 3rd down with his legs. What does it just do to you and your coaching staff to know you've got a bailout guy like that no matter what at quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the things that we couldn't do earlier in the year, he's able to do, extend some plays for us. We're able to go for a big 4th down situation. We need to get them in these situations because we're going to have to deal with this in the SEC schedule. So this is a good opportunity for these guys to be in that situation and execute.
You and I talked about putting your hand in the dirt, running the football before the game. Red zone rushing, that offensive line get off. I know that has to make you happy so far.
It's better. It's better. It's been a point of emphasis. We got to be really good there. We're getting better. We're not there yet.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, LSU 6 of 9 on 3rd down, some of them long ones, and 17 first downs to just 2 for Southeastern Louisiana. A lot of smiles for LSU. Brian Kelly not quite happy. 35-0 to the studio. Here's Doherty.
This evening, the Golden Band from Tigerland invites you to relive the sounds of 1975 as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of some of rock's greatest hits. We begin our show with the unforgettable sounds of ABBA and their international hit Mamma Mia. We then shift to the soulful groove of Patti LaBelle's iconic Lady Marmalade. Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Band from Tigerland. Our journey back to 1975 continues with Aerosmith's electrifying Walk This Way. From there, we dive into the drama of Queen's legendary fusion of opera, ballad, and rock, Bohemian Rhapsody. And we conclude with the rock anthem that defined a generation, Kiss's Rock and Roll All Night.
Saturday night, presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik, our fantastic crew on the road here in Baton Rouge. Aaron Nussmeier and the Fighting Tigers of LSU going to go to 4-0. It's a 35-0 game at the half. Tom and Jordan, Cole down on the field, and everything I think that Brian Kelly wanted to see, he saw in the second quarter.
Yeah, the offense came alive. Obviously started with a 3-and-out, not what you wanted to see, but they rattled off a bunch of touchdown drives after that. The explosive plays through the air, I think, was what this offense, Joe Sloan and Brian Kelly really wanted to see. And there's been questions about the health of Garrett Nussmeier. He did a great job using his mobility to push the ball downfield. He was near perfect. 3 or 4 drops as well in the first half. So a big play type of first half for this passing attack. I still think the running game has been a little elusive, right? They've been good down on the red zone. They'd like to see more explosive plays come through the ground, but Garrett Nussmeier checked all the boxes in the first half. And we'll see if that's his night or if he comes out for another couple drives here in the second half.
And no chance for return for Southeastern. Cole, what do you think is going to happen with Nussmeier this half?
I talked to Brian Kelly as he came out of the tunnel. He told me 1 series for Garrett Nussmeier here in the second half, and then his night will be complete.
We'll likely see Michael Van Buren. Southeastern has played a couple of different quarterbacks tonight, as expected. Carson Camp and Kyle Lowe. And they start with the ball here in the second half with Camp. Camp won a major award when he was at South Dakota. He was the first true freshman to start at quarterback in school history for the Coyotes. Took him to the FCS playoff for just the second time in school history. And he won the Sports Illustrated Play of the Year with a Hail Mary heave to win a game. And he's able to find a receiver on a crossing route. That's Luke Besh at a slide down Louisiana. This is what it looked like, and this is what brought him home the hardware. It led to a lot of notoriety. They jumped on a private jet. They flew from South Dakota all the way down. By the way, this gets a rival too. All the way down to Florida for the Sports Illustrated Awards, where his hero, Tom Brady, was sitting in the front row. They chose Camp to give the acceptance speech, and he said, I had everything planned. I was ready to rock and roll. I was going at it with confidence. Then I looked up, I saw Brady, and stage fright hit me, and I had nowhere to go. And I just mumbled and fumbled my way through a couple of words about being a leader, winning games, being a quarterback. Thank you.
I'm sure that happens a lot for people in Tom Brady's presence. But what a cool play. What a moment. Something he'll never forget. As we mentioned, been a little bit of a journeyman career for him. South Dakota to Sac State to here at Southeast Louisiana, and still in kind of a quarterback battle.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to get both guys more opportunities here in the second half. Both guys have earned the right to be playing, and they are kind of just waiting for somebody to separate.
Yeah.
And really take hold of the job. Obviously, Frank Selfo, the head coach, talked about how much he's done this in his career. He's comfortable doing it. Did it at Arizona with Nick Foles and Matt Scott at one time. Did it way back at Tulane with a couple of first-round draft picks. So he likes developing young quarterbacks. Doesn't mind playing too, but at some point in the Southland Conference, I think they're going to have one guy take reins of this job and run with it.
Third down 3. They are 0 for 6 on third down tonight. Pressure from the right side and a little bit behind. Camp told a great story, by the way, when he was at his first stop in South Dakota. He always had a gift with gab. He was in kindergarten. The teacher was kind of talking to everybody about what happened this weekend. He said, teacher, you're not going to believe it. My house burned down. Your house burned down? Oh, yeah, it was everything, man. The whole thing. Everybody's safe. It's fine, but the entire house burned down. Mom comes to pick him up from school that day. The teacher rushes out to meet her. I'm so sorry to hear about your house. He, as a kindergartner, had made up the entire story.
Nice.
Why not? All the world's a stage.
You make up half what you say on the broadcast too. So.
I do. And for both of you watching right now, here's a chance to focus in on Read and React. It's the hit Monday night show that is taking the college football world by storm. Go, what do you got?
Going to follow up a little bit with what Jordan was talking about earlier in stopping some of these twists, some of the movement that the LSU offensive line has seen. It's really about staying lateral first and foremost, keeping those hips square, but you have to slam down that penetrator that's going to come straight through. Now, that defensive end on your side will show you that you got to get in there right away, stop the penetration. You have time to handle the loop man, and again, stay square. Don't turn those hips to where that leakage can come right through and the penetrator can disrupt the pocket.
Cole, that's almost something you love to see as an offensive lineman, right? A little twist, because you know you can just hammer. Yeah, you can hammer the guy coming at you.
Room up the sideline for Juwan Johnson on a catch and run. Bouncing from the athletic trainer on the sideline.
And Jordan, actually, you see it show up as well in pass protection. It's the opposite, though. So opening those hips to the interior of the offensive line when trying to stop that penetrator. It gets him often in pass protection, too, with those outside speed rushers opening those hips to the sideline, staying square, something that can be repaired and needs to be here at right tackle for LSU.
DJ Chester is in there at right tackle now. And Nussmeier hit as he throws, and he's able to complete it in traffic to Kyle Parker. Khalid Moore is the one that delivered the hit on Nussmeier, gets up limping.
Yeah, Moore turned the corner on left tackle Tyree Adams. Got a big hit on Nussmeier right as he was delivering this ball.
One series in the second half, maybe one too many. Nussmeier on the run, hooks up with Parker, the second consecutive pass, and he picks up a first down. Where do you view the fine line and keeping your starting quarterback out there? You want to get reps, but you also want to protect him, and he's been banged up through the last month or so.
Yeah, you know, Brian Kelly mentioned at halftime how valuable some of these situational opportunities are for this team, because they got to improve in certain areas getting into SEC play.
Over the middle, that's a tight end, Bowers Sharp, and he picks up another first down. Gain of 17.
Another great throw over the middle from Garrett Nussmeier. But yeah, you're kind of holding your breath as a head coach when you know it's just going to be one more drive. It's like skiing. You always get hurt on the last run of the day. Like, let's do one more. And then you just catch an edge and face plant into the snow.
Oh my gosh. Barion Brown is trucking dudes.
Barion Brown is only about 5'11", 185 pounds, but this is pure want to. Get out of the way. Delahousse was expecting, I think, Barion Brown to step out of bounds, and he said no.
Out of the pistol now. And a run to the left side for Juwan Johnson. Is this offense predictable out of the pistol?
Well, they're much more run heavy, almost entirely runs out of the pistol. They do like that, though. And there's one thing, when you're in the pistol, it's okay to be a little more predictive, because you even up the defense, right? If the running back is to the right of the quarterback, well, normally you're going to run starting at least to the left, and you have some tendencies. But when you're right behind the quarterback, you have an opportunity to move late and hide the direction you want to go into, especially with these double tight ends. Forces the defense to play really square.
And now they throw out of it. Busts their tendency and finds Sharp. And the former Lion hurdles and leg kicks his way into the end zone. 18-yard catch and run for Bowers Sharp. What a college football journey he's been on.
Watch all the action here. You're going to get a puller, you're going to get running back, and that's going to bring both these linebackers up. And look at Bowers Sharp, kind of slow play it, get right behind the second level. A great, man, Bowers is trying to hurdle people today. He tried to do that, like, I think, first play of the game.
That's right.
But to your point, breaking tendencies, right? You come out in a heavy personnel, two tight ends, pistol. That's like 90% or more run for this LSU team based on the analytics of the season.
So now they're just laying stuff to film?
Absolutely. Now every team that follows has got to go, oh, shoot, yeah, they can do this out of that. You got to add that to the practice list.
Bowers Sharp out of Dothan, Alabama, cried in tears when he first scored his first touchdown for Oklahoma. Now he's an LSU Tiger after starting his career as a Lion, and he finds pay dirt again. Wow. All right, thank you. Thank you, Dari. That's turning out to be a thriller. Cole, this Southeastern Louisiana team prides itself on being hard-working. That is both on the field and off the field for Justin Dumas, who's on the kick return team there.
Number 33, he was described to us by this coaching staff as an absolute gem. And his value comes in more ways than one, not just on kick return, not just on playing linebacker, but he's actually an athletic trainer. And he gets his hours there in the facility after practice. So everybody else goes home, everybody else goes and watches extra film, whatever it is. He puts his trainer hat on, goes in, starts putting ice and stim on guys, cutting the ankles off, cutting the tape off, getting everybody set to go. Tapes ankles before practice as well.
That is as versatile a player as you would find. Swing pass, and there's a big gain by Brandon Hayes. We're joking with Coach Selfa. I said, well, that's one way to figure out the NIL deal. I'd find a couple extra bucks for your guys. He goes, no, this whole thing's unpaid. It's unpaid. Can you imagine, Jordan, having a teammate wrapping your ankle?
No, you'd be critiquing him and cracking jokes on him the whole time, but you might actually be really good at it, you know, because when you wear it, when you know what you like and what works.
Well, that was my question to Coach Selfa. I said, you know, that's pretty superstitious. Like, you don't let just any trainer tape your ankles every day.
There's usually a long line for one of them, the best of them.
Oh.
You're like, oh, okay, fine, I'll have this guy do it today. But
and then that other athletic trainer kind of knows that they're
not as good.
Second string.
Yeah.
He did tell us he couldn't tape his own ankles, though, because that doesn't happen.
Shocking.
Yeah. But he's
work
like
on the
you said, Tom,
flexibility.
he said he's got to get hours. So he's in there trying to get his hours, trying to get extra classes. But this is it's one of the, what did he say, 3 schools in the state that offers that major. So yeah, pretty cool story that he's in there doing it. Said he leads our team prayers as well. Just somebody that really means a lot to this football team in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, value over replacement player is real when you can bring that to the table. And Coach Selfel was saying, when we get down to our second team prayer guy, it really drops off. Like, I look around and say, where's Dumas? We need to get that guy back out here. The seam route, and that's complete for a first down. And Jordan Williams turns it upfield. Fire up, Chips, former Chippewa from Central Michigan. Started his college career at Indiana. Spent a spring at Jackson
Great
State.
little read. Watch the linebackers here at the second level. Watch this coverage. So you hit the dig or the beater route right behind it. Saw Zach Weeks out there, the true freshman, the third of the Weeks brothers. Made his LSU debut last week with 19 snaps.
Last what?
Last week?
Most recent.
I see what you did there.
First time in school history they've had 3 brothers on the field at the same time. Looking for Williams down the sideline. And batted away. Jordan Williams played at Trinity Christian in Texas. His offensive coordinator, now the Colorado head coach, Deion Sanders. He was playing with Shador. And he spent a spring at Jackson State before moving on. A few different stops in his college football career.
You think they ever ran the football in high school with Shador at quarterback and Deion dialing it up?
I doubt it.
I doubt it. Probably 95 pass, 5% run.
Yeah, that's right. Camp goes under center. Pressure up the middle. They run right at it and opens up a huge hole. Jaden Henry picks up the first down.
This is a thing of beauty. When's the last time you saw a draw, a running back draw from under center? Watch the quarterback. He's going to do a 3-step drop, eyes downfield. And he's going to turn. I mean, I rep this so many times in high school. You see Zach, or I don't think that was Zach Weeks. That was Singleton coming on a blitz there, just missing. Boy, the under center's a thing of beauty, Tommy. You know how many shotgun snaps I took in high school?
0.
0.
Well, because you're a big physical quarterback in high school, weren't you?
Yeah, all 140 pounds of me.
That one's a wobbler. Came out of his hands as he was smoked. And Weeks almost had it.
Actually, that was tipped, I think, at the line of scrimmage. Little twist inside. And couldn't tell if it was McKinley or somebody down there got a hand up and knocked that one down.
Camp exits, and Kyle Lowe replaces him. They don't usually do this mid-drive.
No, but maybe this is some kind of design quarterback run. Obviously, we mentioned Kyle Lowe, a little more juice, a little more wiggle to his game.
For a 78-yard touchdown pass last week. There it is, the option look. He keeps it himself. That was a win against Terrell Buckley's Mississippi Valley State team. And now 3rd and less than 5.
Carson Camp trotting back into the game. Down here, it's an area of the field that last week, and I know Mississippi Valley State, a little different on the back end than LSU, but Jalen DiMaggio, their big target on the outside, had 2 touchdowns down here in the red zone on just fade routes.
Exactly, Mr. Coffey. 82 yards in the 3rd quarter, already doubling production from the entire first half. Back to Camp and the dump off, and DeAndre Jackson finds the end zone on 3rd and 4. Touchdown Southeastern, capping an 8-play, 75-yard drive.
Well, that is a great drive. Watch the eyes of Carson Camp as you play this. He's going to be looking in this direction, and he's going to get Zach Weeks to move with him. And under pressure, a little sidearm flick to find the lane to get the ball to DeAndre Jackson. That's a confidence-building drive,
yeah,
for a Southeastern Louisiana team. against one of the best defenses in the entire country. A bunch of Louisiana boys that grew up wanting to play in Tiger Stadium under the lights, getting their opportunity now and getting touchdown on the board.
(42-7) LSU with the lead. I went out to grab a hot dog at the half. I was looking for my buddy Kent Lowe. He's hanging out at the Shreveport Yacht Club tonight. Congratulations to Kent, Sports Information Director Extraordinaire and a former Jesuit Flyer of the Year at his 50th high school reunion tonight up in Shreveport. Glued to the screen tonight. He'll probably go bowling tomorrow. 6:07 remaining in the third quarter. Southeastern has found the end zone for the first time. Short kickoff, chance for a return. Just shoving guys out of the way, and they'll have the offense set up just inside the 20 after the Jelani Watkins return, and that sets the stage for Michael Van Buren. Spent last year at Mississippi State, sophomore from Bowie, Maryland. Got a start against Texas last year at State. That was just the 9th true freshman to ever start a game at quarterback.
What a luxury for LSU. Got a backup quarterback that started 8 games last year as a true freshman after Blake Shapen went down from Mississippi State. Almost 1,900 yards, 11 touchdowns. Still a little bit of a raw product, but really talented.
And on the run, delivers a strike to the pocket for Kyle Parker. What do you like about Michael Van Buren's game?
Well, it's his mobility and his ability to push the ball downfield. I was surprised last year watching the Mississippi State film how often Kevin Coleman was running straight down the field, and Van Buren was hitting him. Had a big game against Georgia down the stretch, but in talking to offensive coordinator Joe Sloan, he said his development since he's been on campus has been impressive. The spring, he said, was a lot for him. It's a completely different offense. They ask a lot more of the quarterback here in protections and checks at the line of scrimmage. He has grown and gotten more consistent.
Back-to-back runs for freshman Harlem Berry. Promising young back, one of the best in the country last year. coming out of St. Martin's Episcopal, New Orleans.
#1 rated running back by ESPN, the former 4-star. Really adds an explosive element. Great opportunity for Harlem Berry to get some more opportunity here, more situational football. They're going to need him down the stretch.
Only had 1 carry in the Florida game. Flag in the backfield.
It's going to be a hold on Carius Kern.
Holding. Offense. Number 77. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, it's actually should be 57. Right tackle. Ori Williams' family sitting at home going, that wasn't him. He was on the left side. Here we go. Watch it on the right side of your screen right here. He's going to get outside pressure. Those DBs are smaller. You know, they can bend a little bit more. Just got caught off guard and went with the old bear hug.
Kern 6'5", 335. Empty backfield, QB draw. Van Buren gets somersaulted by Ahmad Bradley. Bradley, hey Cole.
More problems with his twists over on the right side, Tom.
Cole, Ahmad Bradley had some problems at the Naval Academy, didn't he? He was so excited to get there, played 2 years for the midshipmen. But to be in the Navy, you got to be comfortable with water. What happened?
Well, a very unselfish player, moved over to defensive line from offensive line. But one of the main reasons that he is here at Southeastern Louisiana is he failed swimming 3 times.
At the Navy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Sort of a prerequisite, isn't it?
Well, he at least got, 2 years in before those flags caught up with him. Frank Selfo told him, he said, you're at the wrong academy. Why didn't you go to West Point? You don't have to pass the swimming test at West Point.
So I asked him before the game in warm-ups. He was over to the side, and I said, hey, give me the pass-fail on the swim test at the Naval Academy. He goes, come on, man. And I got to know. I said, is it like treading water? Is it a distance swim? He goes, you going to talk about this? And I said, well, we kind of have to. Yeah, I'm going to talk about you being a good player, but this came up. And Coach, he said, who told you that? I said, Coach Selfo told us about it. He said, yeah, it changes every year. He said, there's a distance swim, there's a time swim. And he said there's a fully clothed, like a uniform swim as well. And he said, I didn't do so great in that one. So I'm not sure I would either.
Was a standout at John Ehret. He's from Harvey, Louisiana, and National Honor Society and All-State back in high school. I thought, by the way, for a second, we were going to get that from McAfee today when he climbed up to the platform before he did his best Thornton Mellon and jumped off like back to school.
Yeah, wearing a Speedo. Kind of like you. You like to wear the Speedo on the weekends. Let your hair.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, that high dive's no joke. I can tell you guys.
You been up there?
We did it on Nation at A&M 3 or 4 years ago.
Really? Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't do good with heights. I wouldn't do that.
I'm unburdened by memory. I think I would have remembered that. Cole, maybe you should do it next week. Van Buren off his back foot, lobs it up, and incomplete. Well, he just slung that one to try and get Jelani Watkins open.
Well, you had Watkins open. Deep post, had the safety beat. Look at the pressure in his face. Can't step into this throw, try to get as much as he could off his back foot, but still got it 50 yards downfield or so. But Watkins not able to make the play. Free safety was able to rally back. That was a touchdown if the pressure's not right in the face of Michael Van Buren.
Yeah, they're out of the pistol again. And Caleb Jackson past the line of scrimmage for a yard.
Tom, you asked Jordan what he was most impressed about with Van Buren last year. That's the part that I was most impressed about. The amount of times that he got to the back of his drop and was absolutely destroyed in the pocket. Yeah. And he just kept getting up and kept getting up and kept getting up again. It was unbelievable. Some of the hits that he took behind that Mississippi State offensive line a year ago.
And remember, they hung in there. Jordan mentioned the Georgia game. They're at #1 Texas. We're down there for that one. And they're in that game to the end. And what was a start for Arch Manning. Ewers was injured that one. 3rd and 9. Steps up and gets taken down. Grant Johnson, 3rd-year sophomore out of New Orleans. The stop. And that'll bring on the punt team.
Is this the first punt since that first drive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to try to bang this thing through. Ramos from 59, as long as 52 on the season. He was short with a 55-yard attempt against Florida. Won't have the distance and a chance for a return. Everybody quit on it, except for the return man who was lined up at the goal line. There's a flag on the play. And all the way out to midfield. The ball popped loose, or he popped loose. Sorry, he kept on his feet. It's a 46-yard return on the field, 59-yard attempt. Takai Joseph with the return.
Illegal formation, defense. Number 91 of the defense lined up in front of the snapper. That is a 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Well, this is interesting because that kick came up about 10 yards short.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I would imagine that 5 yards forward is in his range, but the offense is going to come out here. Frank Selfo, head coach for Southeastern Louisiana, not happy about that. Because that's just a mental mistake. Like, you know, you can't line up there.
Yeah.
That's not an effort thing. It's not a physicality thing. It's just you can't line up there pre-snap. Can't do it.
It was against La Tech. Ramos was short from 51. You mentioned the big leg that they have from the youngster handles their kickoffs.
The previous play is under video view for a potential targeting.
Might have targeting on the return. While they look at it, we'll step away for a timeout. 26 seconds left in the third quarter. Wow. That is a thriller down there. Meanwhile, we just got the announcement that DJ Chester has been ejected for targeting. Jordan, you disagree with this?
Yeah, so this has to be crown of the helmet. You're going to see it dip, but he actually kind of hits with the side of the helmet. Again, that's not the best angle there. I'm just not sure how many tackling drills DJ Chester has ever done in his career. So he's going to dip his helmet. It's a judgment call, right? That's to try to protect the player. Obviously, Brian Kelly.
And here's why you see the wrath of Brian Kelly. They got a huge game next week.
Yeah.
They have issues on the offensive line. DJ Chester fills in a lot of different spots on that offensive line. Even if they don't have an injury next week, he's going to have to sit out the first half. They're going to be limited in what they can do if they wanted to get fresh bodies or challenge some starters.
No doubt. Just unfortunate because DJ Chester has never been in a tackling drill in his life. You know what I mean? Like, yes, the helmet dip there close to the crown or on the crown. It's just pretty unfortunate, like you said, to be missing a piece, a depth piece from that offensive line that's had its ups and downs.
Oh, they came after him, and Van Buren escapes, steps through and spins and picks up a first down. It's a 12-yard scramble.
He had to do a lot of this, like Cole mentioned at Mississippi State last year, just making plays. And Joe Sloan mentioned the pocket presence, the awareness from within the pocket, not just as a passer, but as a runner. Pretty impressive for this young kid.
They'll get a snap off before the quarter comes to an end. And Caleb Jackson picks up 6. We head to the fourth. 42-7.
you better buckle up and hold on tight. Where the bayou city streets meet the country roads. Where the bayou city streets meet these country roads. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back to SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. 102,000 in the stadium to start the night. Calling Baton Rouge heading into the fourth quarter. 13th play of the drive, acapella.
False start, offense, number 22. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Expected,
but exactly what this offense needed. You know, sometimes football is played between the ears so much more than I think anybody realizes. A game like this can start to build confidence.
Van Buren over the middle, caught inside the 5. Working to the tight end, Donovan Green. At a Dickinson High School in Texas, the same school to produce Heisman winner Andre Ware.
That is such a good job by Michael Van Buren. They tried a double move on the left side. Coverage was there, came back across the middle, delivered a strike.
Harlem Berry in the backfield. High snap. Van Buren goes to the fade, back shoulder incomplete. Timing got thrown off with Nick Anderson. Where are they trying to attack on that route?
Well, you got a 6'4" wide receiver out there, and I think if Van Buren had more time to get the laces and feel more comfortable, a little panicked after the high snap, you want that ball up and away for Nick Anderson. In breaking routes in the red zone, you want low to keep away from hits and contact. Towards the perimeter, you want that ball up and away for your 6'4" receiver.
Freshman sensation Harlem Berry looking for his first touchdown as a Tiger. Here he is. And he carries some Lions with him before forward progress is stopped at about the 2. Nuss wants to send in some play calls.
Yeah, he's sending the same play call he called for their first touchdown for himself.
Van Buren with a QB run for the touchdown. Second QB run for a touchdown tonight, as Jordan mentioned.
First touchdown for Michael Van Buren as a LSU Tiger. First guy to greet him. Little handshake. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Show it. More than 50 yards of offense tonight for LSU. LSU moments from going to 4-0. 13:54 left in the game. Garrett Nussmeier has earned a breather. It's 49-7. ESPN supports the College Football Playoff Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers Week each year to celebrate great teachers across the country who have inspired so many of us. You can nominate a great teacher in your community by visiting cfpfoundation.org. Tonight we call attention to head coach Frank Selfo, who taught European civilizations throughout his time as a high school coach, as well as health and physical education. Were you in the quarterback room in Jacksonville with Frank as your coach? Did you guys ever talk European civilizations?
We did not. It was mostly just who Blaine Gabbert was dating at the time. Me and Chad Henne and Matt Scott would just, who is it this week, Blaine? What are we doing here?
Well, we had such a great visit with Coach Selfo the other day, but I realized among the things that he doesn't do is he doesn't have a subscription to People magazine, because your name came up and he said, hey, man, did he ever get married? yeah, Coach. Yeah, Coach, he did. Just check out People. You'll figure it out.
Yep.
He did tell us last time he saw he was just randomly walking the streets of New Orleans, and I was dying to know what time of year it was or what was happening. Was it a bowl game?
No, middle of summer, right before I think I was going to the Manning camp out in Thibodaux, Louisiana. You know, made a little pit stop on Bourbon Street.
Pressure from behind.
Might have had a really tall adult beverage in my hand. I don't know.
Dylan Carpenter with the sack.
The ruling on the field was the ball carrier was down prior to losing possession.
So you just saw Coach Selfo on Bourbon Street?
Yeah, he was eating with his wife. Coach, what are you doing?
I like to picture this Cole as Jordan walking by himself down Bourbon Street.
It might have been.
With a big ab beer.
Yeah, might have been.
I don't know any other way you would picture it.
No shame in this game.
No.
2nd and 17.
Not getting the first down.
When's the last time you worked the Manning Passing Academy?
It's been a couple years.
What's that experience like?
It's awesome, actually. I mean, it is quite impressive what Archie's able to put together. Him and Cooper pretty much run it. Obviously, Peyton and Eli there as well. But it is 10 hours on the field a day with, I think there's almost 1,000 kids or more, coaches and former players from all over the country.
I feel like it's just as much about camaraderie as it is football from the stories you told.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, we're grinding on the field for 10 hours, and then the Mannings put together these fun dinners for all the coaches, and then you head to the one bar in Thibodaux, Louisiana, Rox's, and Peyton and Eli pick up the tab, and you have a good time. And you get out on the field the next morning, 7 a.m.
Sweat it out,
whether you've slept or not.
Well, maybe the lone bar in Thibodaux was good enough for Johnny football. He would have stuck around.
Yeah, that year I was so surprised hearing Johnny didn't make it to meetings because he went to New Orleans. Now, there's one rule from the Mannings: just don't leave. We'll take care of you. We got drivers. We got have a good time, but we're at our meeting at 7 a.m. to go coach some kids. And
that's the first time you ever played hurt. The Gigger gets it away, or the Frogger, as Cole refers to him, and taken at the 27th yard line. Lights are on Cole. We can go gigging later, unless you want to go Schlitz and giggles. We got options. We got a flag on the play, so that'll keep us from going. By the way, shout out to my buddies at.
During the kick, personal foul, face mask, receiving team, number 12. It's half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down.
My buddies at Faye's Subs and Salads for hooking me up with a late lunch after my delivery driver delivered a bunch of forks, some tongs, and empty plates. Never got my burrito.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. If you didn't know T-Mobile has home internet, you do now.
So many incredible moments from the LSU-Ole Miss rivalry. That game coming up next week, 2:30 Central on ABC. Billy Cannon won a Heisman in 1959 on Halloween night. Odell Beckham had a great run against him in 2012, 89-yard punt return that sparked a big fourth-quarter comeback. And then last year, Aaron Anderson hauled it in from Nussmeier in a final seconds of regulation. It would go on to win in overtime. 29-26 comeback against Ole Miss. That was a great one last year.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really good one this year. Trinidad Chambliss for Ole Miss, I think, just possibly permanently took the starting job for Ole Miss. Back-to-back games with over 400 total yards. The former D2 player.
Yeah,
we got to look at him week one. He is so incredibly talented.
And the interesting thing about Chambliss is he won the Harlan Hill Trophy last year, Division II, as you mentioned, at Ferris State. That was his fourth year in the program. He barely played the first 3 years. He couldn't get on the field. And the coaching staff says, yeah, I guess he's a gamer.
Yeah, who was the guy in front of him?
Right. He won the Harlan Hill Trophy winner, and he wasn't leading Ole Miss to a blowout at Tulane today, 45-10. Ran for $112, threw for 307, 548 yards of offense for Lane's team.
It goes with what Lane Kiffin was telling us about him too. Said he was struggling in practice, didn't really impress anybody in practice, getting those practice reps. He said all of a sudden Saturday scrimmage rolls around and he's taking the second group up and down the field. He said maybe this kid just kind of knows how to figure it out once the lights come on.
Well, and I love talking to Charlie Weiss Jr. about him. He found Trinidad Chambliss via Twitter.
False start.
Sitting around one afternoon.
Offense, number 77. 5-yard
looking
penalty.
at some of those accounts that
Still
send out tape and said, oh, this kid's kind of interesting. Let's do a deep dive on him. And the value of having, even if he was just going to be a backup, and that was more than that, but the value of a guy who's played football and knows how to win big games. We've seen more Division II players in the SEC the last couple of years, I think, than we ever have before.
No doubt. Yeah, what a find. You got a few extra minutes on Twitter. I usually end up stumbling on some dumb DIY video that I'm like, oh, I could do that.
False start.
Charlie Weiss finds a starting quarterback.
Number 28. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Better than parasites out of insects, that's for sure.
That is true. It's the weird videos you get, Cole.
And yet neither one of you tried to buy a MacBook from me.
Did you ever get back into your Twitter account?
No, I'm still on.
So some guy's still just schlepping MacBooks under your name.
Yeah.
That new iPhone out too. I'm surprised he's not hawking those.
Wow. That'll be next. 3rd and 12, 42-point lead for LSU. There was a bullet, and Caleb Jackson is able to pick up the first down.
I mean, in the same vein as Trinidad Chambliss, the addition of Michael Van Buren, I think, is huge. I mean, obviously, Garrett Nussmeier is one of the best in the country, I believe. And you don't ever want anything to happen to him. But
speaking of things that happen, Caleb Jackson just got a head knock as he went to the sideline there. You could see him trying to shake the cobwebs out. That's usually a good sign that they got the cobwebs. And the athletic training staff immediately chatting with Jackson. You see Harlem Berry get the carry. And watch as he goes down right on the knock.
It's usually the ground that does it. Ground doesn't move when you hit it, you know?
There's Jelani Watkins, bends it back to the outside.
Like Watkins, we obviously saw him run by a couple dudes in the secondary. Van Buren had some pressure, wasn't able to get the ball downfield, but he is a dynamic athlete. 2-time state champion in the 200-meter here in Louisiana. He was ESPN's number 5 overall ranked athlete in the class of 24. Get some opportunities here in a blowout, but great young receiver. It's got a bright future.
Van Buren on time again. And room to run straight up the middle. Kyle Parker to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown LSU. Kyle Parker from Michael Van Buren. an effort.
Like, great job holding on to the ball. He extends it there, and defender hits him right in the arm with the ball, but held on to it. Now, Garrett Nussmeier has been the first one to celebrate with everybody that's come off the sideline.
What do you think the start of this season's been like for him?
I think it's been a little frustrating for the offense as a whole, but for a guy that came in with so much hype and expectations around the offense, especially with all the weapons that they have around him. But I think he's mature enough, his 5th year in the program, sitting behind Jaden Daniels, watching his development, to understand it's a long season.
It's a long game. Still 8:11 to play. Van Buren getting in on the passing fun. LSU's got 522 yards of offense. LSU punted on its first possession. It was a 3-and-out. Since then, they haven't been stopped.
I think that's pretty good. 8 touchdowns, 9 drives. I mean, this was an offense that came into the game averaging 20 points per game, which was last in the SEC, 345 yards per game, 15th in the SEC, 108th in the country in explosive plays. They needed a game like this.
Take a look at Fayetteville. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
That's a big Tiger.
It is. That's how we're getting home.
I wonder what Tigers dream of.
Wait, was her lipstick? What? We gotta go back and find that shot where she was putting on her lipstick. I think I saw something that was amazing. 56-7. A lot of amazing in the stadium tonight.
Overalls. Okay. Face paint. A lot of celebrating.
That's Brandon Hayes on the carry. My eyes are playing tricks on me. I thought that was a lipstick flask.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's probably already been invented, if anywhere, here. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Anything you need to bring it in. I just saw that shine, and I thought maybe she's packing.
Hey, if it's not invented, you may be able to quit your job here as a play-by-play guy.
It's a first down run. Kyle Lowe. Lowe played his high school ball at Fayette Ware High School. That's where he finished. He played for his dad. He threw for 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. He ran for another 750. They spent a time at a bunch of different high schools. His dad moved around taking different jobs. And I mentioned this earlier. His grandpa, one of the best defensive players in the history of the SEC. His grandpa is Woodrow Lowe. He was a 3-time All-American linebacker at Alabama. He still has the single season record for tackles and then spent 11 seasons with the Chargers. Cole, guess how many tackles Woodrow Lowe had in one season at Bama to set the all-time Bama record?
Yeah, I've seen this before and I can't recall it. It's like 536 or something stupid.
It's awfully aggressive.
I just know it's dumb compared to what anybody else ever did.
124. Oh. Yeah, so you guys aren't impressed with 124?
Yes, I am.
That was probably a
10-36.
That's back when they were running like 22 plays a game too. So
that's playing 10 games.
Speaking of 22, Tom, you had a birthday this last week, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. It was a first down.
Was it 34 this year?
Yeah, we should really focus on the football.
I don't think so, because I remember a few weeks ago when I had a birthday, we had something come up to the booth.
Yep. Don't.
You know, this is. Oh, you were ready for it.
I was going to take it.
I thought about it, but you know, I'm not mean like that.
No, you're not. You didn't. What? Nobody lit the candle?
No,
we lit the candle.
It's a
for
hazard. Birthday was Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think this would. Oh God, I wanted to. You know I didn't, because I'm nice, Tom.
Yeah,
happy birthday, Tuesday.
It was a great Tuesday.
Of all the play-by-play guys I've ever worked with, you're one of them.
That's right. I thought it was really cool that you came to Atlanta to see me on Tuesday and get your haircut.
I didn't.
Oh.
I mean, I came to get my haircut.
Yeah. You should have heard Coach Selfo's reaction.
This is good.
It is really good.
What did he say?
Cole told him that you fly to Atlanta to get your haircut.
You know, it happens to be a frequent layover that I have, and I got a guy there, and so yeah, sometimes I actually all the time I come get my haircut in Atlanta.
The guy send you cake?
I wish.
Little play action. Nifty move. Wow.
This is really tasty.
Yeah, we're finishing this.
There's a baby in here somewhere. I think there's a little figurine you can find. I heard it's actually bad luck to have a king cake this time of year.
It is?
Yeah.
What are we doing then?
We're breaking.
What's the worst thing?
Breaking the jinx.
Our flight gets delayed by 7 hours again?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
2 weeks in a row? No chance.
That was tasty. That'll get me through the next 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
That's better than the Donaldsonville Popeyes chicken sandwich slaps. Camp gets tripped up. What a stop with just one hand to take him down.
That's showing Washington there. Redshirt junior, Louisiana boy. He's got the Gronk arm there. You know, it's half man, half machine there with the left arm.
Cole, in our day and age, that would be the go-go gadget arm.
Oh.
Yeah, that or RoboCop, one or the other.
I remember Go-Go Gadget.
Da-na-na-na-na. Second and goal. Double A gap blitz. They're coming after him, and he's sneaking out.
Oh, suplex there.
Yeah, Kentrell Prejean trying to get up.
Speaking of suplex, John Cena tonight, Brock Lesnar, ESPN,
well,
WWE.
Kind of a throwback with those two guys.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Who you got?
I don't think they're going to allow Cena to lose.
Lesnar's a monster, though. That guy. I don't think he's passing a drug test.
Cole, best football player, wrestler combo.
Combo? Ron Simmons, just because how good of a football player he was. I don't know about the Farouk character later in his career.
Goldberg, nothing?
Goldberg, The Rock.
Not the bad. I don't think those two guys were anywhere near the football player that Ron Simmons was. Maybe do a little bit of homework on the former Florida State great in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Well, it's a combo deal.
Right? Exactly, and that's why I went with he was
holding. Offense, number 13, 10-yard penalty, still third down.
Listen, when Ric Flair tells you that there was one dude in the locker room that not a single individual ever tried and ever stepped to, and that was Ron Simmons, you put him ahead of some of the other guys.
When were you hanging out with Ric Flair?
Well, my buddy Conrad Thompson's married to his daughter, so I have been in his presence a few times.
Wow.
Not Charlotte.
I tell you what, if I had money on it, I would say Lesnar's just going to destroy Cena tonight. I changed my mind.
No way.
Yeah.
Can't destroy what you can't see.
When did that match end?
Low. Take it down. Pick at the 20-yard line.
See Saban today on game day hitting the "you can't see me." John Cena.
I missed that one.
He hit a "not so fast, my friend," a Corso, and then he hit the celebration, the "you can't see me" move from John Cena. I didn't know Saban, up on his pop culture, his wrestling.
Here's Garcia Rodriguez for a 37-yard attempt. FCS All-America a couple of years ago when he was at Prairie View A&M. And we have combined for 66 points tonight. And that's a 46-point LSU lead.
If you would have gone wrestler, basketball player in college, who would you have gone with?
I can picture him.
Yeah, Kevin Nash.
Yes.
That guy played at Tennessee. Yeah. Maybe best story ever of a guy being asked to go home from the SEC basketball tournament, but we'll save that for another day.
We got time. It's a 46-point game. What happened?
Is it the Marriott Marquis with the rooms that go inside and has you can see down inside to the lobby?
Yeah.
May or may not have been a television from up above. Down
Why
in the lobby.
did Kevin Nash throw a television into the lobby of the Marriott Marquis?
There's probably a lot of Kevin Nash whys out there.
Maybe the remote wasn't working.
He and Scott Hall hanging out. I'm sure never got in any trouble.
Remote. I get frustrated when the batteries don't work.
Yeah,
you get in the
same.
hotel room for the first time. Tried to throw mine in the river today. Couldn't get it out of the window. We were talking with Coach Selfo before the game, and obviously Brian Kelly, and both programs had some things they wanted to work on tonight, but Selfo was very honest about what they were walking into. And here's the thing, they're walking into a paycheck, and it hits a little bit harder in Hammond, USA. Here's the difference in both revenue and expenses. It is a roughly $200 million difference between the athletic departments. Now, going forward, when the SEC goes to 9 conference games next year, maybe these games don't happen, like this one specifically against FCS. But outside of picking up $750,000, what's the value for Southeastern coming in here and losing by 46?
That's a good question.
I mean,
not a ton, right? Because you risk injury against a team that's bigger, faster at most positions than you. But in today's day and age, it's the paycheck, it's experience, it's getting these guys playing in Death Valley. An experience they'll never forget.
6:10 is their score here. Looking at a 2nd and 6. Nussmeier threw for 273 and 3. Season high in points. One thing besides the offense that LSU has had a hard time getting going. The get back coach. We'll get to that in a second. Saturday storylines. Big win for Oklahoma at home against Auburn. Ole Miss deflated Tulane. Won by 35. And Mississippi State 4-0.
How about that?
That's going to be hopping next week. Tennessee comes to Starkville.
Levy's got them rolling. Blake Shapen obviously healthy again. His injury last year, the reason Michael Van Buren started 8 games for them.
Only the 8th time in school history State has started 4-0. Cole, what did Brian Kelly say when you asked him who his get-back coach is?
He said he's fired. First time in, what did he tell us, 37 years?
Yeah.
That he's been knocked down. He showed me the bruises on his arm before the game too. I mean,
it's happened beat up him. Oh, he said on that one he bailed because he was going to run into the officials. And have you ever heard of that? Somebody running into an official?
I can relate, Coach.
This one, boom!
He said he was trying to get a timeout, so he did try to take a little bit of the blame off the get-back coach, but either way, still fired.
Said he was really sore, like he got in a car crash.
Your get-back coach not doing his job.
I think Brian Kelly would be pretty pleased with what he saw on both sides of the ball tonight, albeit the opponent was outmatched, no doubt. I think the one question that maybe is still not answered is the explosive plays in the run game. We saw the physicality. We saw them punch it in down the low red zone when they needed to. But outside of Garrett Nussmeier's long run, just a 16-yarder was the longest tonight.
I'm not reading lips here. Well, I was, but I won't repeat what he said. His attention to detail and to get the reps that they need, it seemed to me like he was complaining about who they had and specifically who they didn't have on the punt team.
Yeah.
No, put him in the game. He needs to be on the field.
The best ones to do it, never stop coaching. Never turn it off, even if it's 56-10, doesn't matter. There's always a plan. There's always a reason why. The details never go unnoticed. That's why he's been one of the best to do it.
Winningest active coach in college football. There is a flag on the play.
Holding, offense, number 65, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Riley Witten into the game here in the second half for Southeastern.
Holding against the Lions, penalized 10 yards. First and 20.
Well, that matchup with Ole Miss next week is intriguing on many fronts. I think we've talked about how good this LSU defense is, how much better they're playing man coverage. They're going to get tested next week. Ole Miss reloaded at receiver. Ton of firepower. Harrison Wallace came over from Penn State. Dejon Stribling from Oklahoma State.
I'm fascinated to see the matchup on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because Ole Miss's defense has been,
no doubt,
6-7. And
LSU offense up and down.
Yeah.
Obviously 56 points tonight. Builds the confidence. You saw flashes of some brilliance from Garrett Nussmeier and some of the weapons as Brian Kelly and Frank Selfo shake hands there.
530 yards of offense tonight. Let's get you down the field. Coles and Brian Kelly.
A lot of wins for you tonight. Specifically, you didn't get knocked down tonight.
That is the biggest win. I think I'm too sore to get back up, but I like the way, We didn't start the way I wanted to, but I thought they really did a nice job the rest of the game playing the way that we wanted them to play.
I know specifically your defense. You want to see your team come out aggressive with firepower in this game and have an attitude. Your defense showed that tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, anytime you know that, we're putting together something here that's pretty special, you still want to be able to play to that standard. And I thought they played to that standard early.
Coach, you referenced to us certain aspects, situations offensively you really needed to see. Can you give us an example, 1-2, that you definitely saw tonight?
Yeah, obviously the 4th down situation, 4th and 11, a couple of short yardages where we were really stubborn and running the football. Early on, we were going to run it no matter what. We needed to gain that confidence with a younger group of offensive linemen.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Appreciate it.
The offensive lineman will be down 1 man headed into the first half of next week against Ole Miss, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Stay tuned. Dar and the gang will take it in just a moment, and during that show you'll hear from Garrett Nussmeier with Cole. 56-10 is the final score. Now to the law firm of Watson, Noka, and Doran.
Garrett, excellent job on the win tonight. There were certain things I know Brian Kelly wanted to see from you guys situationally. You were perfect on 3rd down, perfect on 4th down. What does that do for you moving forward?
Yeah, well, first off, I want to give all glory to God, and I'm just so thankful, so blessed to have another opportunity to play here in Tiger Stadium. And he is so good, His glory is so good, so all glory goes to Him. But super proud of our guys. Just come out and execute. That was a big deal for us this week. Just focusing on being the best version of ourselves to get going. You know what I mean? And try and get that connection going on our offense. And I think we did a good job of that tonight.
One of the cooler things I saw from you, you were the first person to come out and celebrate with Michael Van Buren every time he did something positive. What did it say to you about what he was able to come in and do tonight?
Yeah, he's a great player, so I'm so proud of him and so excited for him to get this opportunity. He did a great job.
Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you. Yes, sir. God bless.